Department of Education. And it's interesting to see all of this fake outrage. And I'm just going to say this. If your child cannot read at grade level and you do not read with your child, you do not help them with their homework, you do not show up to parent-teacher conferences, you show no interest in their education outside of dropping them off at school. If you do that and they don't take the bus, you have no right to have an opinion on this. You have no right to have an opinion on this, and your opinion does not matter. And I'm going to get into why I think that, but before we do that, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, help the algorithm out. My name is Fitz with fatherflex.com. Go check out fatherflex.com. Premium gear for fathers who want to be healthy for their family. On this channel, we talk about health, wellness, and critical thinking. And with that being said, we're going to get into it. We are going to get into it. So, if you've been keeping up with things, then you know that anytime Donald Trump says he's going to do something, the media goes crazy. They lose their mind. They go crazy. He could say that he's going to tie his left shoe first. And there's headline after headline after headline after headline. What does this mean? He's going to tie his left shoe first. What does this mean? And so anytime Donald Trump is going to do something, you can expect that if you do not go and read information for yourself, if you do not go and look at multiple different sources, you are likely going to get an over-embellished story, an over-the-top story that makes no sense at all. So I encourage everyone, and this is not just to do with Donald Trump, whenever you hear a news story, go read. Go read multiple sources, if you can. If you can, because that's how long the Department of Education has been failing people. Is that many people don't even know how to read. And I'm not BSing. Many people, if you go look at the statistics on what percentage of children can actually read at their grade level, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. There are many children who cannot even read at their grade level, which brings me to my point of, how do we have so many concerned parents but so little children who can read at their grade level? How do we have so many concerned parents when all we hear about is how China's better at math, and these other countries are better at reading, and these other countries are better at this, and these other countries are better at that? How do we have so many concerned parents but so many uneducated children? I'll wait. How do we have so many parents who are concerned about their child's education when Trump gets on and says he's going to abolish the Department of Education? We have concerned parents for that, but we don't have concerned parents when it comes to parent-teacher conference night. We don't have concerned parents when it comes to you reading to your child after school. We don't have concerned parents in the summertime, you making your children have a reading list and making sure that they're staying fresh and educated and making sure that they're getting all the things that they need to come back and be at the top of their class come fall time when school starts back up. We don't have concerned parents there. But when Trump tweets or Trump says something, he's going to sign an executive order, all of these concerned parents, they come out of nowhere like a zombie on Walking Dead. Right? These concerned parents come out of nowhere like a zombie on Walking Dead. The education system, the Department of Education, I have to stop that now. Where are you when there's not this going on? Where are you when Trump isn't signing an executive order for the Department of Education when it comes to your child's education? Where are you? It's amazing. It's amazing. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section, because I'm truly amazed at how many people just are fake outraged by anything that goes on in politics. It's amazing to watch. It's amazing to watch, not just with this, but with everything. It's amazing to watch. And so when I think of this, and I've done some background research on this, and like, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something. If I'm missing something, let me know in the comment section. But when I did background research, what I found is that Donald Trump as the president cannot even truly abolish the Department of Education because it was a law passed by Congress. So The fake outrage for people that are truly concerned about this is astonishing, because that tells me you haven't even done just surface level research. Like, I get it. The media has a story. Even me with this video, I wrote abolish, right? Because that's what the SEO picks up. But outside of that, if I was a concerned parent, I go, okay, let me go research this a little bit. Oh, Trump, he can't even sign an executive order to abolish the Department of Education. Maybe there's certain things he can do, certain directions he can take, but he can't just abolish it out of thin air with the swipe of a pen. Oh, okay. Back to not reading to my child, I guess. That's what I would think if I was truly concerned. But it's amazing how many people don't even do the necessary just background research to even understand something. They see a media headline, they see somebody talking about it, and then they go and they just run with it. They just run with it. And that lets me know that the Department of Education ain't been doing its job anyways. The Department of Education started like around the end of the 1970s, right around there. And pretty much their role was to provide funding for Americans going to college in some part, and to provide funding for different uh, education programs that helped low income families. Low income families. That's what it was for, to give education, help with education for low income families. And so it's amazing to me that we have so many low income families that are being used pretty much as political pawns, I think. Because instead of telling these low income families that the key to education is hard work, being consistent, and fostering a good culture of education in your household, no, we tell them that your children aren't going to get a good education because Donald Trump's going to abolish the Department of Education. Many people don't even know what that means. They don't know how that's going to impact their child's education. All they hear is abolish, and all they hear is Trump. All they hear is abolish, and all they hear is Trump. And that's all that's necessary nowadays. There's somebody politically I don't like, and they're doing something, it's bad. No need to research, no need to look into it. They're doing something, I don't like them. That's the end of the conversation. That's where we're at in society today. That's the level of preparation that we have in society today. See, we got a couple people in the live stream. Make sure you hit the like button for the algorithm. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think. We're talking about the Department of Education. Trump is abolishing it. He really doesn't have the power to do that, but I don't know if this is media spin. I don't know if this is just another way to drum up some narrative. It's like this is his last term in office. So I don't know why we have to keep playing the media games with this type of stuff. I'm sure the media knows that he cannot abolish the Department of Education. So it's very strange that they keep on using that terminology. I'll have to go and research and see if he's actually said the word abolish. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. That's why they're running with it. I don't know. But the deeper point that I'm getting at is, you know, when we're on the subject of low income families pretty much being the beneficiaries of the Department of Education, one thing that we have to look at are results. So here's what's missing from the conversation. My understanding is that, yes, Donald Trump wants to greatly decrease the power that the Department of Education has because it hasn't been getting results. Why don't you, if you're in a low income family, or if you're in a family that gets these dollars from the Department of Education, just go talk to your children. Go talk to your children about what they're learning in school, and you'll see that you're pretty much like you're not getting your money's worth. So I don't see how someone could be against some reform, against changing it, because the narrative is, oh, they're trying to shut the Department of Education down and nobody's finna get educated. No. They're trying to shut the Department of Education down and replace it with something better so that students are actually being properly educated. And I don't see how, if we're looking at this from a results perspective, we would say, you know, maybe it is time that we start looking at other things. Maybe it's time we start, like, we're moving into a tech-driven, technology era with AI and all of these different things, and most of us don't even understand these things. Most of us struggle with basic math. Most of us, like anytime we get math homework or it's something to do with science, we oh, that's tough. We don't know how to do it. Meanwhile, other countries are thriving in it. And we think we're going to be competitive. We think that the Department of Education, which has not given great results pretty much since its inception, is going to just start giving us good results. So I think it's a good thing. At minimum, I think it's a good thing that we're questioning things now. I think it's good that we're questioning it, because as long as we're not questioning it, and as long as a department is able to continuously go on and on and on without any accountability, we're not going to get results. We're not going to get results. And so for the people that are upset about this, and let me know in the comment section, because I'm going to post this after I'm done with the live stream. Let me know in the comment section if you're upset that the Department of Education is pretty much on the chopping block, is at risk of being shut down. Let me know why. Let me know why in the comment section if you're somebody that is against the Department of Education being shut down. If you are against the Department of Education being shut down or some great reform happening within it, let me know in the comment section why. Then let me know in the comment section why without talking bad about Donald Trump. Let me know from a logical, intelligent perspective. Why? Why shouldn't we reanalyze it and look at it? Why shouldn't we do that? Let me know. Because I've seen the reports. I've seen how we're not getting, like, I've been around youth. They cannot read. They struggle with comprehension. They struggle with basic critical thinking. Like, I don't understand how we can look at these results and say, yes, give us more. Yes, give us more. The Department of Education needs to be reformed. And if you are in a low-income area, and you should be cheering this on, because that means that you're finally going to be able to start getting your tax dollars worth, your property taxes worth. This is an important thing when it comes to education. So it looks like we got some new people in the stream. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think. The Department of Education, we're talking about the Department of Education potentially being shut down and abolished. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, at least not to the degree that the media is saying. I know that they're saying it's going to be abolished again. Trump does not have the power to unilaterally abolish the Department of Education. Kind of strange that that's the narrative right now. Very, very strange. But I just wanted to get on and have a conversation about this, because I just found it interesting that the outrage over this, when it does not seem like education is taken seriously in this country. It does not seem like education is taken seriously from students. It doesn't seem like it's taken seriously from parents. It doesn't seem like it's taken seriously from a great sector of the pop. Like, this is how education is taken in this country now. As a parent, let's talk about from the parent's perspective. Parents wake up, they may drop their kids off at school. Sometimes their kids take a bus, but they wake up, take their kids to school, and then they go like this. My job is done. My job is done. I got my child in education. No. You have to be an active parent when it comes to your child's education. You can't sit around and expect the government to take your child's education more seriously than you do. You can't sit around and focus on just how they look when they go to school and if they got the new shoes and if they got the best clothes. But do they have the best reading skills? Do they have the best math skills? You're more focused on what they're wearing instead of what's going on in their mind. You're more focused on, are they cool at school, than what's going, like, and here's the crazy part. Here's the crazy part that kills me. I hear parents talk about how they don't have time to read to their children. They don't have time to help them with their homework. They don't have time for any of that. But you have time to be at their football game. Help me understand. You have time to be at their basketball game. You have time when the teachers say they acting up. You have time then. But you don't have time to go to parent-teacher conference night. You don't have time to sit down and read with them. You got time to be scrolling through Instagram, but you don't have time to make sure your child is reading every day, to check in on them. Well, I looked at their report card, and their report card, they had a C, and they told me they was going to get that C up. Do they still got their Xbox while they got a C? Do they still got that PlayStation while they got a C? Oh, they still got the phone when they got a C. Oh, we can't take the phone away because what if they get kidnapped? Don't nobody want your kids, bruh. Don't nobody want your kids. And if someone's kidnapping your kids, they phone probably not finna save them. Kidnappers are aware of phones. Here, oh, I'm kidnapping you. Oh, let me check and see if you have oh, here's your phone. I just threw it out the window. So we have to have realistic and adult conversations about these things, because for so long, we've just allowed for the fake outrage to dominate the conversation. We've just allowed for the fake outrage to dominate every aspect of life, to the point of where we can look and see that our children are dumb and stupid and are not getting the results. And when I say dumb and stupid, I'm not saying inherently, but what I am saying is they're not applying themselves. And as parents, we have to make sure they're applying themselves. And if you're making excuses and saying that you're working and you can't make time to do that, then I'm going to call BS. I'm just going to call BS. But our children are not getting the results, especially low-income families, not getting the results. And then you want to come on when Donald Trump or a political person is making some type of decision and have an opinion. Why don't you opinionate yourself on the Amazon and buy your kids some books? Why don't you do that? Why don't you opinion your way to the Goodwill where the books are like 50 cents and just go get them some books? Go spend $2 at Goodwill on some books for your kids. It don't matter what the books are. Just here's $2. I'll take whatever books y'all can give me. Take $2 to Goodwill and go get your kids some books. Why don't you just look up some books and then try to find the PDF of those? Just do that. Because I'm not buying that you can't help your children with their education. I'm not buying that. And that's what this comes down to, is who's willing to do for their kids and who's not. This isn't about the Department of Education. This isn't about Trump signing an executive order. This conversation is which parents are going to step up and take their children's education seriously. Because guess what? The parents who are taking their children's education seriously, sure, they may have an opinion about this Department of Education thing, but they know that their child's still going to eat. They know their child's still going to go to school and eat. They gonna go up in that classroom and show up and show out, get good grades, apply themselves. It doesn't matter who's in office. It doesn't matter what bill is signed. It doesn't matter. Just look at, and and I'll say this, and this will probably be controversial. White parents back in like the 50s and 60s and stuff like that, during the era of white flight. For those of you who don't know what white flight is, this is where white people would pretty much flee to the suburbs. They left the inner cities and flee to the suburbs so that they didn't have to have their children in school with black kids. Now, I don't want to make this a race conversation, but what I am saying is that those parents had jobs. Those people had jobs, but they were able to say, okay, we don't want our children being educated in this environment, and I'm not saying I agree with it, but we don't want our children to be educated in this environment. We're going to do something about it. And they picked up their life and moved further away. They picked up their lives and moved further away and formed schools out there in the suburbs. And so when I look at that and I say, now, I know there's going to be some people that say, oh, you're standing up for white people. There you go. You done sold out. That's not what I'm saying. Stick with me. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm using it as an example to say that when you take your children's education seriously, then you're willing to go the extra mile to make sure that your children are getting the education you think they deserve. That's the point that I'm making. Okay, so don't get caught up in the example. Get caught up in what I'm actually talking about. Get caught up in what I'm actually talking about. If you're just coming in the stream, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel so this content gets pushed out to more people. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. Moving on. So I think right now we're just at a divide. I think right now we're at a divide, and the people who are poor, the people who are broke, the people who don't have any opportunity, y'all just need to sit this stuff out. Y'all need to sit this stuff out because you have better stuff to do with your time. We all do. But especially people that are in a position where you're struggling paycheck to paycheck, you're constantly stressed about bills. Sit this stuff out. Because I'm telling you, the best thing you can do is stay out of politics at this level and do for yourself in your own lives. You have no business sitting there arguing with people on the internet about the Department of Education getting shut down if your child can't read at grade level. Take that same time that you would spend arguing with me or arguing with somebody else and go read to your child. Take that same time and sit down with them and show them a YouTube video walking them through multiplication if they're struggling with math. Take that same time and energy and money that you spending going to the mall or going on Amazon to buy them some shoes they don't need and go get them a tutor. Matter of fact, many of the schools have free tutors. You just got to show up early to the school. You got to show up at 6:30 in the morning, or you got to stay later. So that means that they may not be able to play basketball this year. They may not be able to play football this year. They may not be able to go out and have fun and go bowling on Fridays. They got to go study. But that requires you to be a parent. That requires you to stand up and say, there are boundaries within my household and there are standards within my household, and we value education here. I'm tired of seeing people online talking about how much they going after the bag and how much money they making and how they this and they that, but your kids are dumb. Your kids can't read. Your kids are struggling in school, and the only thing you're focused on is making more money, get in the bag. But you're not using that to reinvest in your children. You're using that to reinvest in yourself. Wouldn't even call it an investment, but you're using that to buy money or to buy things for yourself to look good on the internet for people. You're using it to have a better car so that when you stop at a stoplight and look over at somebody, they can see that you're driving a nicer car. When's the last time you invested in your kids? Oh, I ain't finna invest. That's not my job. It is your job. That's your job. And that's what this conversation is about. It's about we've gotten too comfortable with other people raising our children. We've gotten too comfortable with depending on Trump, depending on Biden, depending on Republicans, depending on Democrats to raise our children, to give our children the education. Like, we have to get out of this mindset. We have to get out of this mindset, because as long as we're in this mindset, the people who are actually winners are going to rise to the top anyways. The people that are like, well, my kids, they're impacted because they're shutting the Department of Education down and they're not going to have good books and they're not going to have this, they're not going to have that. You don't care about their education. You do nothing for their education but take them to school. So stop. Stop with the fake outrage. Stop with the fake outrage. And here's the thing. People would rather be a part of a conversation than be a part of the solution. People would rather be a part of the conversation than be a part of the solution. In other words, some people, they get more thrill and enjoyment and satisfaction out of going online doing this than being a part of the solution, which is instilling a greater value of education in your children. They'd rather have a conversation to talk about and talk down on Donald Trump than to focus on their children's education, their real education. Because you can't tell me that slaves learned how to read during slavery, but in the 21st century, in 2025, children can't read in an air-conditioned room or whatever. I know there's gonna be some people, well, in the hood we ain't have it. We don't have no air conditioners, and you know what I'm talking about. In 2025, probably much better conditions than slaves. Learn how to read. You can't tell me slaves getting out of slavery were able to learn how to read, but our children can't today. No matter what race you are, it's unacceptable. And I think it starts at home. It definitely starts at home. So let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. See, we got some people in here. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in. Hit the like button, show support for the channel. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, hit the like button. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Are we too comfortable with the government educating our children? Are we too comfortable with the government educating our children? Let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Are we too comfortable with the government educating our children? I'm gonna start a poll. 1 second, y'all. Are we too comfortable with the government educating our children? I'm gonna put this poll up. Let me know what y'all think. Putting this poll up. Y'all go answer this poll. Let me know in the comment section. Are we too comfortable? I'm gonna say yes. I don't think I could vote on this, but let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Got the poll up. Are we too comfortable with the government educating our children? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the poll. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in. Are we too comfortable? I think that we're too comfortable with the government doing a lot of things for us. I think we're way too comfortable. And it's interesting when things aren't going our way, how people will lean on the government and say, well, the government's doing this and I pay taxes. I pay taxes. Okay, you pay taxes. You pay taxes, and all right, the government should be doing something. If they're not, though, are you just going to sit back and not let your kid get educated? Are you just going to sit back and put it all on the government? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. And this goes into a deeper conversation about accountability. When you have children, it is your responsibility, no matter what, to make sure that they get educated. It is your responsibility to make sure they are safe. It is your responsibility to make sure they are protected and that they learn values and that they grow up to be good people. That is your responsibility. It's not the government's. And when you operate from that mindset, then when the government does something that you don't agree with, it's still like, okay, I don't like that. It's still my responsibility. That's why I always say your success is your responsibility. Your success is your responsibility. Because even when we have conversations deeper about who's responsible for what, and people will argue with me and tell me that they cannot do something with their life because the government is holding them back, because their parents did this, and they have all this smoke for everyone else, but none for themselves. And this is my problem when it comes to things, I call it this reactionary culture. You see something in the media that you weren't even aware of, didn't know how it impacted you, probably still don't, and now all of a sudden that's the reason why. That's the reason why. Oh, I can't get a job because I got a black name. You knew nothing about this research before. But now all of a sudden this is why. I guess there's nothing more for you to do then, right? And this is why when you see these media stories and when you see what's going on, you have to read into them deeper. You have to understand what's truly going on, because many people are living their lives on autopilot. Many people are living their lives on autopilot, and they're not going to get where they want to be in life. They're not. You're not going to get where you want to be in life living on autopilot. So we got one person that says we are too comfortable. We are too comfortable with the government. Make sure you look at the poll in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Are we too comfortable with the government educating our children? I think we are, but let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Also hit the like button. hit the like button, show support for the channel, get this video out to more people. But yeah, I definitely think that we are too comfortable. I think we're too comfortable with the government doing uh, educating our children. I think we're too comfortable with the government having these safety nets. I think we're too comfortable with the government with retirement, and retirement's a big one. I know people who have saved nothing for retirement. They have saved nothing for retirement, and then they have the nerve to say the government don't care about us. They not taking care of me in my retirement. You haven't worked your whole life, really. And on top of that, you should have still been saving. It's amazing to me how much trust people have in the government, but then at the same time spend almost every waking moment talking down on the government. Just talking down on the government. It's crazy. And so I want to talk solutions now. I want to talk solutions now because and if you're just coming into the chat, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hit the like button, show support for the channel. If you're just coming in, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. But I want to talk solutions now. I want to talk solutions because moving forward, I truly believe that the next generation of winners are going to come from households where parents take power out of the government's hands and foster a culture of learning within their homes. You have to foster a culture of learning and valuing education within your home. You need a Department of Education in your home. That's what you need. You need a Department of Education in your home, and you need to be on the board of that Department of Education in your home. You need a Department of Education in your home. You need standards for your home. You need boundaries, and you need to teach your children to respect education. I'm tired of going online and seeing these kids fighting teachers. I'm tired of going online, seeing these security guards fighting kids because kids getting disrespectful. I'm tired of seeing it. You know, and it's to the point to where we really have to start having a conversation even about homeschooling. We have to start having deeper conversations about homeschooling and getting our children out of the public school system, because ultimately it's not there to help children succeed. It's just not. It's not there to help children succeed, at least in its current form. It's not. Most parents that I speak to and most people that I know, they have no clue what their children are even learning. Most people that I speak to, even including myself, when I graduated from high school, even college, you know, I felt like a lot of the information wasn't relevant. A lot of it was a waste of time. You know, when you truly set your mind to learning something, you don't need all of these years to learn certain things. I don't think that it's set up to really bring out the best in people. And so when I sit back and I think, oh, there's going to be some change to this thing that everyone agrees is broken, and I see people against that, I wonder how. I wonder why. Why are so many people against something that's broken being fixed? Why? We have to ask ourselves that. Why? Why are so many people against that? Got a comment, said, facts. Where are you when Trump isn't trying to take away education? Exactly. Where are you when Trump isn't there trying to take away education? Which is a silly thing because we live in the internet. Like, I don't understand how Trump can take away the education when we live with the internet. We have the internet. Now, if Trump was trying to take away the internet, then I could understand. If Trump was trying to shut down www, I could understand. But we live in the internet age. We live in the internet age. And so one thing that you'll learn when you actually apply yourself to learning is that there's a lot of fluff. There's a lot of fluff in our education system. If you know that you want to be an engineer, you should not be taking all these courses in the humanities. You should not have to take years and years of the years. Like, we had a midwife, right? We had a midwife who was homeschooled, and she loved being homeschooled because she said that her parents were able to tailor her education to what she was truly interested in. And so many children lose that spark, lose that interest because they're going through a boring ass school system that doesn't care about them, that is just there to fill seats and to get money from the state and satisfy quotas and things like that. You know how easy it is to pass a test? You know how easy it is to pass a test? These tests don't test what you know. They test what you can remember and regurgitate. That's why they don't ask you things where you apply the knowledge many times. They ask you, this is going to be on the test. And then they write out the question in the same way that was in the homework so that you can remember the question. And then they give you multiple choice things. That's not testing your knowledge. All that's doing is testing how much you can remember. The school system is broken. And so when we have somebody that's in here saying that we need to change it and that's willing to stand up to these lobbyists and willing to stand up to these powerful corporations that have money invested in this, then I think we should take a closer look at it. Don't just read the headlines. Don't go based off of that. We truly need to talk solutions. And so here's what I'm saying. If you have children and you're concerned about the Department of Education being shut down, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to Goodwill and I want you to buy your children some books. I want you to go online, buy your children some books. I want you to read to your children at least 3 times a week. I want you to sit down. If you don't know the math that they're doing, I want you to go on ChatGPT and I want you to type in the problem that your child is having. Like, here's the math problem. Break it down for me in a way that I can understand. Here's my grade level. Or break it down for them and walk through it. Just spending time with your children doing their homework is another form of support. And it goes a long way because here's the thing. If you're putting more emphasis on your child's teacher educating your children than you being a part of that education, then you are failing your child. You are failing your child. You are failing them. If you show up to their sporting events but not their parent-teacher conferences, you are failing your child. If you got more smoke for the coach when they don't put your kid into a basketball game or a football game, then you got questioning these teachers, what they really teaching and what the curriculum is and stuff, you are failing your child. You're failing them. You have to decide that your child's education is important. You have to decide that. And no executive order is going to change that. Either you care about your child's education or you don't. And if you care about your child's education, then you're going to do what it takes to make sure that they're learning. And right now, children simply aren't learning at a proficient level. And something needs to change. What that is exactly, who knows? But something needs to change. So the fact that this is even a conversation is a good thing. Don't get caught up in the messenger. Don't get caught up that it's Trump trying to make these changes. Don't get caught up in that. Really sit back and analyze and look, what are the results that your children are getting if you have kids? Even if you don't have kids, when you look around, do you think that we're getting smarter or dumber? I really want to know. Let me know in the comment section. Do you think society is getting smarter or dumber? Because I know what I think. But I want to know what y'all think. Do you think that society is getting smarter or dumber? Because I don't understand how we have more access to information. We live in the most privileged time in this country. And yet I see higher levels of depression, higher levels of people just complaining all the time, higher levels of victim mentality, higher levels of people just saying that this is the worst time to be alive, where this is the worst country, and just a lack of hope and a lack of faith. I truly believe it starts with the education, and I truly believe that when we're spending time focused on things that don't matter, especially when you're not even involved in your child's education to begin with, you think because you dropped them off at school that you're a part of their education. You're not. If you're not actively reading with your child, helping them do math, helping them through these subjects, you're not a part of their education. And if you don't know the subjects, that's fine. If you're not investing money to make sure that they're getting extra help or that they're going to tutoring and you're not involved in the process and you're not grilling these teachers and you're not making sure that your child is a priority, because that's another thing. and I almost missed this. That's another thing. You have to understand that in most schools, there are not enough teachers per student. This is a good conversation. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're just coming in, because we're about to go deeper into this. Make sure you hit the like button, support the channel, subscribe. Thank y'all for supporting. But understand that in most classrooms, there are not enough teachers per student, meaning there are too many students for one teacher to just give them the attention. Many students are not getting the attention that they need in the classroom because there's just not enough help. And so what that means is you have to be that parent to advocate for your child. You have to be that parent where if your teacher isn't giving them enough attention, if your teacher isn't taking the time to explain things to them, the teacher's going to have to see you. And many parents think because they send their child to school that their job is done. If teachers don't believe that you're going to be that parent to call them up and say, hey, what's going on with the class? Blah, blah, blah. I see my child's grades. What's going on? Then they're going to ignore your child. They're not going to give them the attention that they need. Why? Because they're going to focus on the students whose parents are involved. They're going to focus on the students whose parents are going to call up and say, hey, my child's grades are falling below. How do we fix this? They're going to focus on the children who show an interest. Why? Because they understand on a fundamental level, some of y'all just not finna make it. Let's be real, teachers. If I got any teachers in here, let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this. I believe that many teachers understand on a fundamental level that some of these students just don't care about their education, and I'm not going to waste my time with them. That's why we see so many students being put on this ADHD medication and being sent off to the special ed classroom so that because they have a learning disability or a reading disability, they take those students out, segregate them, and push them onto somebody else because of behavioral problems. This has been well documented. And so what I'm saying to you is, as a parent, the number one thing you can do outside of actively helping your children read and making sure that you foster the culture of education at home is making sure that your child's teacher knows you are an involved parent. Making sure your child's teacher knows you are an involved parent. You got all smoke for the people on Instagram in the comment section about these things, but you won't go sit down with your child's teacher. In the syllabus, they got the teacher number. You ain't called it one time. You ain't emailed them one time, but when the report card come, you want to sit there and hit your kids because they got a bad grade. You want to sit there and tell them they ain't getting those new pair of shoes because they got a bad grade. Where were you the whole semester? Where were you at? And so we have to rethink the education system. We have to rethink as parents how involved we are with our child's education. We have to do better. We have to do better. All right, y'all. I appreciate the support. If you're still in here, make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed to the channel. My name is Fitz. Make sure you check out fatherflex.com, premium apparel for fathers who want to be healthy for their families. Go check out fatherflex.com. Information is in the description. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Appreciate the support.